Nice balls baseball shirt.
Welcome into Sport Talk with Dwat. I'm Dwat, your host, and this is show number 31. What is going on, Casper?
Just sitting up here in snowy Knoxville, Tennessee, baby. Rocky Top, Snowy Top, whatever you want to call it. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, we didn't get much snow here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Snowed a little bit Saturday morning. Heading to the gym, and got a little bit of snow. Just a dusting, I guess you could call it. And then just the rest of the weekend for me, just kind of took it easy. Watched some of the Hawks NBA. Watched some college basketball, watched Georgia Tech, watched Tennessee. It was a good weekend and week for Tennessee fans out there, I thought.
Rocky Top, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Nothing. All right. All right.
But for you, Casper, you had a snowy weekend, so let's hear about it.
Yeah, man. So got off work Friday. We were kind of waiting for it to snow all day Friday. Never really came down Friday afternoon like they were saying it was going to. Started at like I want to say 7 o'clock ish, something like that. Kid was like, "Where's the snow, Daddy? Where's the snow?" And then finally made it, and he had to go to bed, of course. And there wasn't really much out there. We went out there and messed around, but there was probably only like a quarter inch before he went to bed. Put him in bed. Then I went out to be one of those idiots driving around because I got a four-wheel drive truck, so I'm one of them guys. Um, and there just wasn't much going on. I came back to the house about 10:30. I told the wife, I was like, we're not getting nothing. And then I woke up and there was about 5 inches on the ground Saturday morning. So, and it was cold, dude. So cold. Like, God. I think we talked about it a little bit. You were talking about how fine it was down there. Like, just kind of give you an idea of how fine the snow was up here this go round. Like, it was so cold that the particles are so small, it went through the screen on my screened-in porch. So there was like snow on my screened-in porch, which just kind of blew my mind. I'd never seen anything like that before. And then of course the dog peed on the porch because of it. So thank you for that. But yeah, it was a good weekend. Finally, after it started to slow down, got the kid out. He didn't like it at first because he couldn't really walk around because it was that much snow. He's only 3, so had to kind of get it cleaned up. He couldn't ride his bike. He wanted to ride his bike. His bike was stuck. He was crying about that. So old Big Daddy Casper got the shovel out, baby. Went to digging, dug the driveway out so he could ride his bike. He's been a little scared of sledding because we've had some injuries, which we're going to get to a good story about that here in a little bit too. But I don't know. So we got to play, quit snowing, got the driveway cleaned up. It worked out really good. I'd shoveled right as it was almost done, threw some salt down, melted the rest of it that landed, kept it wet, and then driveway was good. Actually, somebody was walking up the street, proud, proud homeowner moment, and said, "Man, who'd you pay to do your driveway? That looks pretty good." And I was like, "Yes." So that worked out good, and I only had a half bag of salt, so I was glad that worked. But yeah. So, anyways, back to the sledding thing. So
Yeah.
obviously that's my favorite part of this, and I don't know if you know D-Wop, but we're getting older, and anyways, you've been to my house. So I got this big hill right here, like when you turn to come up to my house, right? Like you turn left down there, come up that hill, and I was like, I'm gonna sled down this whole thing, which we're getting a little old for that. But it was probably about as long as, and I was talking to Rachel and Logan and stuff, and I was like, one time, Dan got hurt on a hill about like this, and so I got to tell her about the story about this time back when we were in old Soddy Daisy over there at the church. We won't name the church, but had a big hill which we were pretty pumped about back. I think we were in my S10 that day maybe, and it snowed. We were in high school, and Dan was he was going for it, baby. D Watt was on it. He was hammered down the hill, and then there was rocks, and bailed off, hurt his wrist pretty bad. I think made it what a couple days before you went to the doctor. Like, didn't you go on a ski trip or
Yeah, I
something
went
for
to ski trip.
church?
Yeah, with the church. Went to ski trip, and it was swollen. It was throbbing. And I was like,
Yeah,
I'm fine, I'm fine. And then went to
yeah.
the ski trip, fell up there skiing, and so the ski trip didn't go well. Then I came back in town, and I said, "All right, Mom, I gotta go. I gotta go to the hospital.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
broke."
And it was broke. So didn't do anything like that, but I'm telling you, I wanted to keep sledding down that hill after it froze, but I'm like, man, I have to go to work on Monday. I can't be getting hurt now. We're too old for that. Got responsibilities in life. Kind of sucks. But I don't know, it's a lot of fun. When he finally started having fun, the first time, like I said, it was not very much fun. He was crying the whole time. But we got him out there, got him on sled, had a good little time. So enjoyed it. Did trek out yesterday evening. I was about to go to the Tennessee Auburn game because tickets were kind of cheap. But then we ended up going to our friends who live over there, who have a neighbor on the basketball team. But I'll tell you about that later. Um, Actually, I pulled up their house, and the guy was like, "I thought the game got canceled," and I was like, "No." He's like, "Oh, they're playing." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Was Carr still here?" I was like, "I guess they came and got him." So I imagine the university took care of the players and got him in there. But it was a good day. I really enjoyed the snow. Had fun hanging out with the fam and some friends, and just kind of been hanging out today doing nothing. Looks like we'll be back to normal operations tomorrow, other than maybe daycare. So, what about your weekend? Sorry, that was a long story.
Oh man, just kind of just took it easy, and it was chilly. It was windy and chilly here, so I didn't have anything too crazy planned. Just took it easy pretty much. I didn't get out and do a whole lot. Just watching basketball really on my end.
Yeah, my dad was telling me about the wind. I talked to him yesterday, and he's like, "This wind is going to blow this building over." He's how hard it was. I saw a lot of people down there posting on Facebook about the wind blowing the snow away. That was
Yeah,
pretty funny.
it was
Yeah,
wild. I haven't quite seen it that powdery in a long time, so it was something different.
yeah,
But with snow, I guess as I've gotten older, I'm not a big fan of it, and I guess now with work and whatnot, got to get to work and stuff. But look, it was on the weekend, but I guess with it just kind of gets you trapped in there, and then if, I don't have any kids, so I don't have a kid to
yeah,
go out there and sled with. But I guess you
yeah.
can stay in the house and hang out, and then it'll get it all melt away. But it's not my favorite. But if it's gonna snow, that's fine. Weekend, and it can snow up to my eyeballs for all I care. Just be all clear so I can get back to work on Monday.
Right. So my background's changed. My green machine's not back here, so I did get it out and go piss off all the neighbors. I live in this HOA neighborhood, and I got a lot of mean, ugly looks. But dude, I took that thing out there on the road because it was. I mean, the roads were pretty bad, like
Mm.
pretty bad. And I took it out there. I don't know about 11 o'clock, and dude, I couldn't get it up the hill. I mean, 650, and it wouldn't go up the hill in two-wheel drive. I did. I had to kick it in four-wheel drive, and went and cut some cyclones and all that. So I got to act like a fool. Had a great time doing that. That always makes it more fun. So it's been a good weekend, long week, good weekend, if that makes sense.
Okay, hey, makes sense to me. I got some hats that came in. I got some new Sport Talk with Dwat hats. Man, they turned out really good. So those came out and they came in and now they're all gone. So I want to thank Dad, Casey, Randy, Mark for buying them. And so it worked out good for the show. And it's cool to be able to wear a hat on the show and out and about. So
No,
that's that.
I like it. I need to get mine. I'm pumped to get
Yep.
down there and see if I can't get me a little sport talk with you. Well, I got this old school caution flag. We got to get some updated hats or something this year, I guess. We ain't using this logo no more. So now that you and JP talked me into running it back, we better get it together. So
Oh yeah. I'm the champ, and I got to go for champ times two. So
shoot, I'm gonna be sure I put my door panel in the camera shot for every time, just so you can remember that you might be the champ, but I'm still daddy.
oh, that's right. All right. News of the week. Bills promote offensive coordinator Joe Brady as the new coach. So the Bills, Casper, is a team that can't ever get over the hump. Will the new coach solve all the problems?
Maybe, but they didn't hire a new coach. I mean, what the actual crap are they doing? I mean, I heard some guys talking about this on the radio yesterday, or yeah, yesterday we were out driving around, had the sport talk on, and like they're the biggest losers. I mean, I agreed with this everything this guy said. They're the biggest losers this year, coaching wise. Like, listen, at the end of the day, the problem ain't the coach. The problem is they don't get it done, and like. If you think that it's a coaching issue, which I borderline think personally, I'm starting to think Josh Allen just one of them guys just can't get it done. There's some guys just can't get it done. They're really good. They can't get it done. Look at Denny Hamlin in NASCAR. Um, there's a couple other guys in the NFL, and I'm completely drawing a blank right now. But some guys just can't get it done when it really matters. And I don't know. I feel like this was a we lost, we're pissed off, so we're going to fire somebody. And I really think this is a bad move to just bump your offensive coordinator up. So you're going to have the same offense that you just had. Like what changed? Not much that I'm really seeing here. So I don't know. I think it's a weird thing to do. I think the Bills kind of got screwed on that call um in their game. It's an unfortunate loss. I think they have a good team and that's my Madden team. So, I think they're a pretty decent team. I don't really know what they were thinking. I think it was a hasty decision to fire him, and then like
Yeah.
they're like, who's left? Okay, we'll just move our OC up. I don't know. I mean, it feels like somebody threw a temper tantrum, like something I would do, and then, um, yeah, I don't know. What is that? I mean, what do you think about it?
Yeah, yeah. It feels like they had to fire somebody, and you gone, see ya. And they didn't have a. It's like they didn't have a plan on who they were going to hire.
Yeah,
They got mad and they fired somebody. So coach is gone. Now like, oh crap, we got to hire somebody. And there had to be some other options out there to get a coach from not from inside the team already. So if you're gonna hire somebody, hire somebody. Don't just get this guy moved up from the OC to the head coaching job. So that's what I got on that. Is just kind of confused on that hire.
yeah.
But some more news of the week here. Titans hire Brian DeBall as the offensive coordinator. He was at the Giants. Got fired this past season. He was there for about 5 weeks into this year. Got him got him gone. So uh, maybe it's okay to get these coordinators or a coach come down to be a coordinator. Maybe I'm okay with that. I don't have a lot of back history on them, but we've got the offense, we got the quarterback, we got Cam Ward, we got these players. Hopefully, he can come in and give this team a little bit of something to get some wins going for next year.
Yeah, I mean, so again, this is, he did have a year as the OC at Alabama with the Bills, did okay. I think it's a decent hire for them. Maybe the head coaching thing wasn't for him at the Giants. I think if I was a Titans fan, I feel better about this than I maybe was earlier. At least you got a decent one. Um, I felt like the Giants, I don't necessarily know that the Giants' problem was a coach either, but they also had to fire him. So I don't know. I feel like that's a good move for the Titans. I think they're doing okay. I feel a little bit better about Titans now than I did last week. I'm not a big Titans fan, as we've covered on here before, but I've got a lot of friends and people at work that are, and they all feel pretty good about this going forwards. Um, you got Cam, get a new OC in there and see what we can do. So I wish them the best. I really do. For all my Titans people out there, I wish them the best. So
Yeah, tomorrow night we're going to have a show with my nephew. Casey's going to come on here tomorrow night and break down the head coaching that they hired, and they're going to break down the offensive coordinator that they've hired, and we're going to kind of dig into that a little bit tomorrow night with Casey. So looking forward to having a little Titan talk tomorrow night with Casey. All right,
tighten
the
up.
Browns. Go ahead.
I just said tighten up.
I'm done. The Browns have hired Todd Monken as the new coach at the Browns. I feel like it's a pretty good hire. That name. He was at Georgia. He's at the Ravens. So it's got some history of the name that I've heard. I think that could be one of the top five hires. I think of the offseason. So the Browns got their guy, and I think he's going to turn out pretty good.
We'll see. They got more problems than the coach as well. Most team, I think at this point, this is something weird. I was having a discussion last night. Now, this is a good point to talk about it. Get your take on it. Are these issues really coaching issues, or is this GM player talent issues? And like being a coach has got to be dang near the hardest job in sports. Like other than maybe being a quarterback, just because the quarterbacks sometimes take the blame, but a lot of times even when the quarterbacks, suck, we're still blaming the coach, right? I mean, what the
Yeah, it all
Browns
falls
got?
back. Yeah, it all falls back to the coach, and I think it's a lot of the players' fault. And you get these egos, and then you get the GMs who make a bunch of money, and they can just sit back up in their suite and say, "Oh, we're not winning," and it's not gonna be their fault. Which those guys do get fired from time to time. But it's the are they getting the players in the draft that they should be getting? Do they have the right coordinators? Do they have the right support? It all goes back to the coach, and he's the one that gets fired. Whether it's some kind of field goal miss by the kicker or if it's whatever, it's all going to come back to the coach. And I don't think this should be that way, but someone's got to take the blame, and it often goes back to the head coach.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, you're talking about a team that picked Shedeur Sanders in the draft last year, so I don't know who made that decision. I don't know if that was a coach decision or an ownership decision. I felt like it was an ownership decision just because I don't know why a coach would want somebody that bad and that much of a crap show on the roster. But from ownership, sell some tickets, sell some jerseys. So, thankfully they didn't hire Dion, right?
I suppose they didn't. I got a hot take on the quarterback over there. Brown, I bet Shadu will. I say he might be starting next year for the Browns. We'll have to kind of see how it all shakes out with the roster. But I say he'll be, if he's not starting, he'll be a top two on the roster. And he's. I don't care for him honestly, but he's going to find his way out on the field. I think.
Yeah, I don't know. Actually, as far as the Sanders family goes, I think he actually acts more like adult than his dad and his brother. So, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens there.
All right. Well, we'll move on into college basketball. We got men's college basketball. Georgia Tech at Virginia Tech. That was on Tuesday at 8 o'clock. Tech basketball wise, halftime was 36-30. We just fell behind in this game against up there in Blacksburg. We just fell behind, and some games we can halfway keep them close, and then some games we can't. And so the final that one was 71-65. Virginia Tech gets the win. Pretty good atmosphere up there. I feel like that they got a pretty good fan base, and that they're just a pretty mid team for the conference. But you put them in the right spot, they might play pretty good. So Tech basketball on that one did not go well. We just trailed all day and we got beat. So that's how that went. And then here we go, Casper. We got 16 North Carolina at Georgia Tech, wide out Saturday. Yeah, it was just Carolina just come out there and it was just better. They were just better than Georgia Tech, athletes, coaching wise. Halftime was 52-37, and the final was 91-75. We hit a late three to make it look a little bit better on the box score, but just this special team for Tech is just rough, and I just got to get through it. And I want to get on there each week and talk about it, and I want to watch the next one. And North Carolina, though, Casper, they looking good. They hit the threes. They get up down that court. There could be a team to watch, I think.
They definitely have that streak in there for sure. I don't know. First of all, I got a couple questions that,
Yeah.
you're the Georgia Tech fan here. Clearly, I'm the Tar Heel. Uh, what I want to know is how do you feel about scheduling a whiteout for Carolina, knowing you're going to get waxed? And I mean, you don't know, but you assume. I would assume that these are probably the highest price tickets they're going to have in Atlanta all year.
Yeah.
Um, I see here sell out. So, um, I mean, what's your thoughts on the whiteout for that, or would you rather it be, I don't know, Georgia or something like that? Do you like all this whiteout? Do you like? Let me ask this, just general, because Tennessee did the checker last night. Do you
Mhm.
like this whole like we're gonna have a theme every game, or do you wish that two people did it a little less?
As a fan, I like the themes twice a year. I like the checker once a year for Tennessee. Maybe have a checker, a blackout, and a smoky gray if they want to have some kind of gray out, which they don't. But that'd be something different.
Yeah,
It makes the fans. It kind of keeps you into it. Makes you want to buy some new gear, possibly if you don't have that certain kind of color. Um, I so that's my take on that. Is I like it, but you got to keep it controlled. I don't want to see it each week. And then back to the first question you had for me there. I think, and I hate it this way, and it's just the way it is in basketball, I think for sure, is these teams kind of buy into the team coming to town. And they know that the fans are going to want to see Carolina play basketball. They got a lot of history, and they're going to be good. And when they come to town, they're going to use it to their advantage, I guess. And they're going to jack the tickets up. They're going to have the wide out. They're going to get you all into it. And as a fan, if I lived down that way, I probably would have wanted to go because it's just Carolina. That's just the way it is. And it
yeah,
was packed, and the fans are going to be there. And it just all comes down to how much money can we make in this game, knowing we're going to get waxed. And that's exactly what happened.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, I really expected y'all to put up a little bit better game. I think Carolina played it. I didn't get to watch much just because I was outside sledding and all that. But from kind of going back watching some of the highlights, Carolina put on a pretty good game here. They only turned the ball over twice. That's pretty good in a college basketball game. They shot 92% from the free throw line. Definitely solid. The one thing that stuck out to me was that y'all only shot 13 threes. I was like, it is 2026 college basketball. I mean, you shot 54%. You hit seven of them, but like you might have to shoot more than 13 to win. I don't know. I hope Carolina's got it, but they definitely have some. They have some issues too, but I do feel like as the year has gone, they've started to make better decisions. And I do think they're a team that can make a run as we get down the road. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, this week will be a big test for them. So
Yeah, we'll have to see how that Georgia Tech goes from now on, but you just got to be able to support it, and then once it wraps up, then we'll move on to baseball, and we're top ranked in baseball, so that's something we're as a fan base is what we're really looking forward to. All right, Casper, Tennessee basketball. A Wednesday night they played at Georgia. This was a game that it could kind of sneak up on you if you let it, and you want to come out and perform well, improve to your fan base that you are for real, and you need to keep winning because we can't drop any more of these games. We've already dropped enough, and I don't want to see us be losing much more. So halftime of that game was 34-28 Georgia. Georgia come out first half and they had the lead and they were trying to control the game a little bit here and there, and they did a good job of it. And then in the second half it was kind of when it was getting good. So the Vols get the lead, Vols hold the lead, they start to control this game. But then they're towards the end. Here comes Georgia. We're going to kind of sneak back into this game a little bit. We're going to keep it close. We're going to make our shots, and y'all better be ready. So they come all the way back, and they hit a shot there late there in the second half, tie it, goes to overtime. So it's 74-74 was the end of it at second half. So then we go to overtime. I watched this game. This is really good, something to watch there on a Wednesday night. It goes into overtime, and Tennessee they get out there and they pull away a little bit, but then here comes Georgia. They're going to come back, and it kind of come down to the very end. But it's 86-85. Tennessee wins. They survive. I can breathe easy after that game, and it was all in all. I liked the game. I thought Tennessee played well. We're kind of starting to kind of see what they're made of. Even when it gets tough, they're able to kind of fight back and finish that game.
yeah, this Tennessee basketball team, man, every time I watch them, I'm just like, what are we doing? There's some things that we do questionable. The one time when I really thought we were going to turn this game and just give it back to them was that inbounds pass off the foul, took off runner down the baseline. Georgia comes out, scores, ties it. I was like, yep, that's the end of it. It was good to see him battle back on the road at Georgia. Pretty good crowd, I would think. If it
Mm-hmm.
looked pretty wild, ruckus a little bit in there. So good to see him come get another tough road win. Georgia is one of those teams like, yeah, like they're not necessarily the best, but they're going to put up the best show against Tennessee. And I don't know, road wins matter, but ugly win in my opinion. When you out rebound somebody 52-27, that you've got to win by more than 1 point in overtime. I'm sorry. I mean, that's tough to me. Just kind of some dumb plays, and I think Rick Barnes has said it this week. Something about he thinks I don't know if you saw this, which just was the Auburn game. But something about the players. He's like, sometimes I wonder if they're betting on these games just because
Oh
like they want them to be
gosh,
close.
yeah.
Sometimes they just do dumb stuff, and I don't know. Again, they have the talent and the potential. They haven't exactly shown me the same thing that Carolina has that they can do what they're supposed to do, but they have the potential to do it. I thought it was interesting, without Akbar playing yesterday, which I'm kind of moving to the next game, but I don't know. I thought it was a really good game. Go ahead and get to your fan mail here.
Oh
I'm
yeah, I got some
excited to talk about this.
fan mail from Mark Sweat from work. He asked me some questions about this game. He wanted to give his feedback on the game, and so this court at Georgia is just too much going on. You got the G, you got the Bulldog, you got different shades of the court's a different shade. You get It's just too much going on in my opinion. I don't like it. It's kind of hard to watch. So Casper, what is your take on the court?
So, so watching that game, I thought it was way too dark, and I felt like we're trying to do too much for sure. Um, but this was my comment that I wanted to make. I then saw a women's game. Okay, and I don't know if they play at the same place, but it looked like the same kind of floor with the Bulldog and all that, and it didn't look as bad. And I was wondering, was it possible that the cameras made it look worse than it was? Do we know if the Georgia women play at the same place as the men? I would assume that they do.
I want to say they do.
Um, so it was one of those things where I really did wonder if it was the cheap SEC network cameras made it look a little darker than it actually was. Because I saw it yesterday, the women's, I didn't think it looked as bad. And I googled a picture after that, and it doesn't look as bad. So I'm gonna give them not good, but not as bad as it did look in that game. So SEC Network, do
Mm.
better.
Yeah, yeah, they had some pretty bad coverage. I thought. I thought the guys calling
Yeah,
the game was just not. It just wasn't for me. It just that they didn't have a good. I don't know if it's just the tone of voice they had and how they would explain the game. Just wasn't
yeah,
for me. So I was like, let's get this thing, let's get it wrapped up so we can get this game over with. But fan mail wise, you got any fan mail? Send them to me. I will answer them on the show for you.
yeah. One thing I
Oh,
wanted
yeah.
to note too, that game getting pushed.
Oh, yeah.
I wondered because I was thinking the same thing. That one guy, I mean, the color guy, he was so annoying in that for the TV coverage. I thought if that's what you're talking about, but I was curious. Maybe it was getting pushed from Tuesday to Wednesday. Maybe some of the equipment got changed up. I'm not exactly sure on that, but it wouldn't surprise me if that did happen. Also, the weather, they might have had to get some different, equipment down there because there was ice storms and snow we've been competing with all week. So I don't know if that's something to do with it, but yes, good one, Mark. It was ugly, and I think there should be regulations. Just plain floor, you can do the one logo, and then do the paint or something. I don't. I'm not about the bulldog. That's pretty stupid.
Yeah, just have your logo, have it all the same color, and then that box have it like a solid color, you know, with the conference there in the
Yeah,
box, and it's just keep it simple. These teams, I feel like it's gotten worse over the years, and they're just starting to trying to add a little more to it, and
yeah.
it's just like just get back to the basics. That's all I want.
And every sports has got it. Football's got it. Baseball's got it too. Even some of the stuff in the grass is too much for me. So I really like the comment. Also, if you're looking at that dog upside down, it looked pretty dumb. So how about that?
Ain't nothing about a bulldog that's that people want to see. But with that being said, we will move on to Tennessee and Auburn. They had Auburn at Tennessee, 8:30 on ESPN. Oh man, what a game! What a game! What a game! Packed house there in Knoxville. Looked like even with all the snow, the game was didn't get delayed or pushed back any type of days. They got it in, and halftime was 41-31 Tennessee. And Tennessee, that first half, I was kind of curious if they were going to come out and be a little slow, or if Auburn was going to come in there and put up some points. But Vols had the lead early, and they had a pretty good sized lead there throughout the game. It was 12 plus points, and they're really able to control that game. And just it was kind of the same way in the second half, which Auburn made a little bit of a run. They're able to get the points down and keep it close. But Tennessee just as a fan, watch these games and they're just really able to, these past few weeks, I feel like they've really been able to come together and work together and really be smart about their passes and their shooting. And I feel like they've gotten better on the defense. They've been able to really kind of hunker down on the defensive side and get these teams slowed down. And to get the win 77-69 was definitely really cool to see. It's another win. So we're starting to kind of tick them off here. And, it's going to be some more games coming up, which we'll kind of get that here in a minute. But all in all, just as a fan of Tennessee, it was good to see them get that win for sure.
Yeah, I mean, definitely kind of got off that road trip there. Get two games at home, got the Auburn win. Did looked like what they're supposed to look like against Auburn, right? Led most of the game, never really let it get that close. Got Ole Miss at home Tuesday, and then that
Yeah.
big at Kentucky next Saturday night. So better be ready to play some real basketball up there. It doesn't matter. Kentucky, Tennessee, it's always going to be a good one. You go ahead and get you a couple more wins. You can start looking at climbing up the conference standings here a little bit. That right now they're in that big tie, that three-loss tie. There's a bunch of teams with three losses right there. So definitely need to get two wins this week. And if they do that, then I think they're on the track to be more like what we're talking about with Carolina, maybe having the potential to make a late run. So I did think it was interesting without Okpara playing. I almost felt like they were better. I don't know if you like. We were playing a game over there with our friends, but we had it on TV in the background. I was like, I just feel like they look a little more jellish than they have or something.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I saw he had, was it a calf injury or something like that? That's all he was
I'm
out.
not.
So,
I'm not really sure. I think it's kind of like a game time thing. I saw it about 45 minutes before the game that he wasn't going to play, but I'm not exactly sure what it was.
but I feel pretty good about the Ole Miss game. I feel like we can go down there and take care of that. And then Kentucky's the rematch. We just played them a few weeks ago. We had the lead, we blew it. And to get two more, like you said, would be that'd be great to see as a fan to see Tennessee keep winning. And then if we just keep winning, then we can kind of control what we can control. If you lose, then you just
Yeah.
you get these ties, and it just gets messy there towards the end. So just I want to see the Vols take charge here these next couple of weeks and months, and hopefully take care of this season.
Yeah. One more thing too, just back to the whole checker thing.
Yeah.
So I think we need to cancel a checker game for a weather game like this. Like we're talking about, so when it's this cold, man, it's hard to wear the right color for your seat and section. Then you got
Yeah.
people that don't know if they're going to go, and then people end up going, and I don't know. It's kind of silly, but I'm not really a big fan of the checker for basketball. Just save it for football.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
football looks
That's my
better.
personal opinion, and I'm like a one a year kind of guy. So make this like Kentucky, Alabama, but I'm sorry, just not Auburn. It's just not the one. And then definitely when
It's
you have the snow thing. So
yeah, between the weather, I feel like it was kind of spotty with it didn't look it looks better in a football stadium. They can
yes,
really get they're packed a little closer maybe, and with the cold weather, it's gonna be
wider
hard.
shots from the
Yeah,
camera
water
too.
shots,
You
yeah.
know.
So yeah, I say just have that once a year and pick it for a big game. Have it for a team that you don't like at all,
Yeah.
and get those right colors up in the stands. It looks cool from TV. For sure. Georgia Tech, we head to Cal on Wednesday. I'm going out west. I don't care for this out west teams that they're in our conference, but I don't make the rules. I just got to go by them. And so we got Cal Wednesday, and then we got Stanford on Saturday. I like how if you're going to go out west, just go ahead and knock them out. Go ahead and take care of it, and we'll see how we'll kind of see how we shake out against those two teams. And then for Carolina wise, Monday night you got Syracuse at home, and then you head, and then you got Duke coming to town. That's gonna be 6:30 on ESPN, I believe. So that's gonna be cool. That's in the picks for later, but we'll give you a little preview on that one, Casper. What's your thoughts on that game?
I mean, obviously Duke is a really good team this year. Doing what Duke does. Carolina needs to be up there with that single digit number ranking because I feel like they're good enough to be there. They're just not there right now. So it'll be a big test for them. Obviously, we took that same trip y'all took, Stanford Cal, a couple weeks ago. Got us not necessarily looking that great. Duke
Yeah.
Duke got their wins out there. We did not, but I feel like Carolina's playing a little bit better. So that'll be a big time thing. Don't sleep on Syracuse if you're Carolina. That's step one. That happens a lot with the Duke game coming up. You know how the expectation is about that. I saw the Duke students started camping out there 2 weekends ago
Oh,
to get
yeah.
tickets for. Well, I guess that's for their home game. This one's at Carolina, so I mean, so I guess they're going to camp all the ways to March. That's crazy. But they were talking about the rules for that. We need to talk about that on our when we have another show. Let's talk about that. I'll send you the article. We need to talk about it. It's pretty crazy. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I hope Carolina gets it done. It scares me. I never feel good about them playing Duke really, but it's at home, so make it count.
Yeah, that game's always really cool to see. The fan base are both very passionate, and when it's at Duke, it's it gets pretty rowdy. And even at Carolina, it's got all the right colors up there in the stand with all light blue. It's really cool to see how they pack in those people in the Dean Dome up there, and it's
Yeah.
just kind of cool to see. So,
Also, that whole Cam Boozer thing, like, bro, uh, I don't like him. So if we could not let him win, that would be great. There's another Boozer that did some bad things in that building. So if we can just, you know, make it a little bit better. So
all right, college football news for all my college football watchers out there and listeners. ACC has moved the conference championship game from prime time to 12 o'clock noon, right after college game day. The switch has been made, Casper. What do you think about the change?
it has nothing to do with the ACC. At the end of the day, that's all about ESPN and what they want to do. Um, I here's my thing on it. If you want to have a better time slot, then I got a suggestion. You ready for this? You ready?
I'm ready.
Be better. Don't suck. I mean, that's honestly the problem there. They look at that game last year. Um, I mean, that it was irrelevant. Your third place ACC team, was the one that played for the Natty. So I don't know. It's a weird thing. Yeah, I would assume this is just all about the money, though, right? I mean, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I don't love the 12 o'clock kickoff for any championship game, though. I agree with that. But as we've seen with NFL and college, they're going to schedule these things so they don't go on top of each other and maximize every single window. So East Coast, got to go early.
Yeah, it's as a fan, you like at that game. It's always cold there in Charlotte. That Saturday night game could be cold and
Yeah,
windy and chilly, but I like night games. I'm just a night game guy. I like if I'm
yeah.
there, it's cool. If you're on TV, it's kind of cool to. I like the night game feel, and they might not. It might make more sense. Maybe they're not competing with other conferences that night, and you got um, SEC at 4 o'clock. So you have ACC at 12, SEC at 4, and somebody playing that 8 o'clock slot. So at the end of the day, maybe it just makes sense.
I don't know. I don't care. It should be a night game. I agree with you. I don't care if you play it on Friday, Thursday, whatever. Make it a night game. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure it was just a money decision.
All right, guys. Let's dig into some college football schedules for 2026. We'll start with Tennessee. We'll go ahead and jump into that one. I feel like it's tough, but what is your take on some of these games they got?
Well, you got to get started right early. One thing that I noticed here is we're at home, other than the Georgia game, at Georgia Tech. But you got Furman. Obviously, we're not even going to talk about that. That's not even a football game. At Georgia Tech, September 12th. I would expect that to probably be a primetime game more than likely. I guess we'll see. What people are saying about Georgia Tech and all the player changes, coaching changes coming up there. But then you get your first two conference games at home, Texas, Auburn. Got to get wins in those, make them count. That Auburn game is probably going to be like I would put that myself on the list of highlight of the year, possibly best college football game. Josh Heupel versus Alex Golish. I For Josh Heupel, I actually think that's borderline the biggest game on the schedule this year. And I know that usually we're worried about the other team from Alabama, but I don't, for some reason in my head, I just don't know that Josh Heupel's going to be able to beat Golish. I think Auburn did the best on college football coaching this year. I think that Golish is a really good coach. I don't know that he'll be good year one, but I know that he's going to want to beat Josh Heupel in Tennessee, and he's going to have their number dialed. So I'm really curious to see what Tennessee's offense defense looks like, and that'll be a good one. Obviously Texas coming to town too, but I'm still kind of looking more at that Auburn game just because I want to get that win. But other than that, the trap game to me here. Well, the first thing, did you see that there's no blackout game really on the schedule? There's not really a good one. We didn't have one this year that was really great either because we're off that Halloween weekend again.
Oh yeah.
Um, so that's kind of weird to me. Finish out at Vanderbilt. You're hoping that's a win. Lane comes to town November 21st. I guess that'll be what before Thanksgiving. So,
Yeah.
you know, tough to finish, but I do like
Yeah.
being at home to start because we need to get a good start in conference play. So at least we got our first two games at home. Got to get it done at home, not lose at home like we did this year.
Yeah, it's a good schedule, and I think it's pretty good favors on them. I mean, they got some good home games, like you said, and it's all going to kind of come down to can they start strong and be able to finish strong as well with Vandy and LSU and A&M. We'll see what they got. So that's it's quite the schedule, but hey, that's why they play the game. We're going to see how it all looks. All right, Georgia Tech 2026 schedule. Colorado at home. That's going to be on a Thursday night, I believe. What it sound like there. Then you got Tennessee coming to town. Then we got Mercer. So we start off pretty good there. Then you got Stanford. So we're gonna go out west of Stanford, but how it falls with some bye weeks, and then we got Mercer before that. So that shouldn't be a problem. Go out to Stanford, take care of that. Then Duke at home. At that point, hopefully we're about 4-1 or so, give or take, going into those first 5 games. Then we go up to Plattsburgh. That's gonna be a tough one, I think, with that new coach with the James Franklin. That's gonna be a
Yep.
game. That's gonna be the first tough game, first conference tough matchup right there. Can we get it done at Virginia Tech? That's gonna be a good one. Boston College at home. Then we got Pitt, which we all know what happened this past year with Pitt. That's gonna be at Pitt. That's gonna be another game. It's gonna be a toss up, but we just gotta be able to come out and finish these games. Louisville, that could be a tricky one. And then Clemson, we don't know what's gonna be going on with Clemson. That's kind of late in the year this year compared to last year. with Dabo and what with what's all kind of going over there in Clemson, it's kind of a mess. It seems like. I guess my hot take on Clemson is you may see them to kind of start to fall apart here in the next couple of years, and I say Dabo might not be a coach there within the next couple of years.
I
Wake
agree with that.
Forest, Wake Forest. We'll see how that goes late in the year. Then you got Georgia. That's always the last game of the year. It's at Georgia this year, so we'll have to kind of see. But I feel okay about it. It's definitely a tougher schedule. We're only playing. So some teams are playing four non-conference and some play three. So that's kind of how it's going with the ACC wise. So we got four on our end. So we got to make them count, and so that's how that's looking. So we're gonna kind of. I'm getting excited for the year. There's a lot to talk about here in the next couple of months with some of the players that are moving around and coaches and whatnot. So looking forward to spring ball for Tech. Go ahead.
One more schedule thing
Yep.
before we leave college football schedules.
Yep.
The nuts on the SEC to schedule. You knew it was going to happen, but I just want to point out they did schedule LSU's first conference game at Ole Miss. So everybody be tuned in. We'll see if Sport Talk with Dwat, if we can help get this podcast rolling. Tell you what, if we get let's pick a good number. Let's say like if you can get 10,000 subscribers, I'll get a pallet of mustard bottles, half golf balls, shipped to Oxford. That way they can, welcome Lane in with open arms like a good old SEC team would. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. That game's gonna be something down there for sure at the Ole Miss. But I guess that about wraps up the college football talk. For some of the news that came out on that. All right, we will move on to the Super Bowl 60. We're going to look ahead to this year's Super Bowl game. You got one Seahawks versus the two Patriots. NBC 6:30. I like how it comes on at 6:30. It ends at a good hour for all these people that that's got to work the next day. So I've always been that's always been good in the past for me. Is on its start time and end time. I wish college football would think about that a little bit. But with that being said, Casper, man, it's going to be a game. I feel like with the Seahawks got a good defense, and if they can slow down Drake May and Tar Heel guy right there, so it's gonna be a game to watch. Just as a fan, I always like watching Super Bowl. I get into it. It's got good. It's good. It's always got some kind of halftime show. I'm not a big halftime guy. It's got good commercials. That's really what I like to see, the commercials. And I just want to see a good game on the field.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm pretty excited for this game to watch old Drake. Got Seahawks, Patriots. That's a throwback. What year was that? The whole remember what I'm talking about with Marshawn didn't hand him the ball. Wasn't that the Patriots and
Yeah,
Seahawks, I think. But
I think it was Patriots and Seahawks. And then they played, was it 2013, 2020? They played
so
recently.
yeah, I
So,
mean, I don't know. I'm really curious to see what Drake can do. We're gonna find out if Drake's got it or not. Um, Probably MVP, right? I don't know. I mean,
yeah.
I guess it was. They keep saying him and Stafford, so um, I I guess like to me, uh, the Rams had a good team. Patriots have a good team, but they're young. But as far as being most valuable to their team, I think Drake should win that. Just for the record, I want to point that out. I really like the fact that they just keep making Drake the dog. He's fine with it. But he's going to go back out there and play in some warm weather. I think that's one thing that people are maybe forgetting. A lot of people that I've been talking to around here, like, no, he's terrible. He fumbled the ball four times. And I think they forgot that it was 12 degrees and snowing when he fumbled the ball four times. And it's about to be 70 and he's about to put some yards up. I mean, he's had a good year. I really like him in the underdog slot. He's kind of quiet, but
Yeah.
keeps getting it done. So we'll see what happens there. I'm looking forward to this game. Obviously, Super Bowl's always a good one to watch. Glad it's on NBC. That's my favorite Super Bowl
Yes.
coverage,
Yes.
just for the record. But I don't know.
Yeah. Which it's on you know, so which I like how it's on NBC, which it's in the past it can also be on CBS or NBC, and I like the NBC coverage way better. I think they
Yeah,
got some good announcers. It
yeah,
seems to really work out well on that. But yeah, it's gonna be a cool game, man. I'm definitely a game that I always like to watch it and kind of see how these players are going to perform under the pressure of it being a big game. It's going to be out west, some nice warm weather, which we've seen these games in the playoffs be cold, snowy, rainy, whatnot. So now we're going to, all these guys get a week off, and next Sunday night it's going to be the night to see how it's really going to shake out. And I'll save my pick for a little bit later and whatnot. But I got some
Yeah.
more shows coming up. We're gonna talk about Super Bowl a little bit tomorrow night as well. So we're gonna dig
Yeah.
into that a little bit as well.
I'm
But
I'm excited about the picks. Are you buying us tickets? They're only, I
oh
mean, we
man,
can get a ticket for about 4 grand a pop,
oh, we're going,
4,500.
bud. Me and
They're
you, we're
down
going.
500 bucks from yesterday. I mean, if you want to buy the tickets, I'll buy the flights because
There we
flights
go.
to LA ain't that expensive. But
We'll fly out there, watch the game, come back, talk about it. It's gonna be great.
you think they could get us some media credentials for Sport Talk with Dwat?
Oh, I'm working on it, bud. I'm trying my best.
Sorry, it's too easy. But I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'll look forward to the picks. I guess we'll push that off here for a little bit. So
But since you won't be back on here, I guess I'll go ahead and let you throw a pick out if you want to.
it's in my picks for the week. So
Okay,
you want them
okay.
now or you want? I mean,
Oh no, we'll wait, we'll wait. All right, all right. But that being said, real quick, we'll do a little Hawks talk and then we'll move into the clash. It's been moved, but first we will talk a little about the Hawks. Monday was Hawks and Pacers at the Hawks. Hawks get the win, and then there was the Hawks and the Celtics on Wednesday night, and the Hawks got the win there. And but then something didn't go so well for all the Hawks fans out there. You got the Hawks and the Rockets. Rockets get the win there, 104 to 86. And the Hawks and the Pacers. Last night I watched some of that game. Hawks played well, came back, just didn't quite get it done. It was 129 to 124. The Pacers. All right, guys. But let's get into it real quick a little bit here. Bowman Gray Stadium, the clash. It has been moved. Tell us why, Casper.
it's been moved because we got a snowstorm that they definitely were not expecting in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Pops pointed out that why would we think that we can race in anywhere other than Florida or California first weekend of February? Because I mean, we've got snow at Bristol before in April, so racing not that far from there seems like a bad idea. It was going to be cold as well. Some really interesting things. I think we talked about it earlier. The whole thing about like it's so cold they're worried about the cars breaking if they're in the hauler overnight. I thought that was
I heard that.
interesting.
Yeah.
I think the state and the city was the ones that really pushed NASCAR. Like, hey, what's the latest you guys can do this logistically? Because the roads, from I've seen some pictures, even the interstates are still bad over there right now at 4:30 on Sunday. So, I think it's a safety thing more than anything, just to be able to get people in and out appropriately. I think they probably could have the racetrack ready by tonight or tomorrow night, but it is what it is. I think it's interesting. Uh, Big thing for me is they canceled the heat races, which were supposed to be last night. Which for those of you who don't know, heat's like qualifying races, and so now you have to qualify, and then there's going to be LCQ, and you have to race in through that LCQ. So I mean, if I was y'all, I would want to be tuned in for that last chance qualifier race at 4:30 on Fox. Okay, Wednesday night. I know it's a weird time. 4:30 p.m. Eastern time on Fox is when you are going to want to be tuned in for this thing because it will be a good one. These guys are going to have to beat and bang. Only 20 guys make this race. This is the only race of the year, basically, where you have this chance to race it um, on a 5 mile track and beat somebody out of the way. So if you want to watch somebody run over somebody so they can make the show, this is your time. So I'm excited to tune in for all that. It'll be tough coming from the back of that thing for sure. So you better qualify good. And, it's a good little taste. This whole thing getting pushed back, it ruined my Sunday. I'm just gonna tell you. It ruined it just a little bit.
Yeah, I was looking forward to it. I really was. It's just a cool event. It's a cool event for fans of all kinds. I think can watch this event and really get into it. Whether you're like a football fan or a race fan, I think it's just kind of cool to see the history of it. I wish one thing I wish would happen, which it won't, is they would keep the snow on the football field, cover that in snow, and then have the
Yeah.
track clear. But I get it with the sponsors and whatnot. They're not gonna cover up all the sponsors. But it'd be cool to see
Yeah.
all the snow stay in the infield.
So I realized I had to move for sponsors as well, but I think what would have been cool, hear me out on this, if they would have like put a couple snow piles in the infield,
Yeah.
like pushed it together in the infield, and then maybe after the race, what would have been really cool is somebody would have gone in the infield, done one of those pull up to the snow pile burnouts, and just burn it down in the grass against the snow. Whoever wins this thing, if you don't do a snow angel, give the Kurt Busch repeat, you're a loser. So I expect to see it, but looking forward to it. And then, the good thing is we got Wednesday this week, and then we'll be Wednesday next week. So racing season's here, baby, and I'm ready to go.
Yeah, it's me too. It's finally here. The off season's finally about over with, and we get to see cars back on the track. All right, we will move on to picks of the week. I'll kind of go first on my end. It's pretty good on my screen. Patriots at the Hawks Monday night. Hawks got the win. That's who I picked to win. The Predators at the Bruins. That was on Tuesday night. Bruins got the win in overtime. And then UNC at Georgia Tech Saturday. UNC got the win. So I got all mine right. And we'll go over here, Casper's as well. Georgia over Tennessee. Tennessee got the win. The Kings at the Celtics. Celtics got the win by 12 or more. So that worked out really good there on Seth's spread there. And then the Bucks over the 76ers. Um, so that did not
Yeah.
go well at all. Now, all right. And then so with that, we will move on to this week's picks of the week. I'll let you go first, Casper.
Okay, I'm gonna go Patriots plus 4.5. I really like that number. I think it's ridiculous. I think you'll see that number shrink over the week. Honestly, I mean, I'd be surprised. We'll definitely want to talk about that next time I'm on here, but see what it moves to before the game starts. So I'm gonna go that, and I'm gonna go Super Bowl to be over the 45.5 points. I feel like, you know, like I was saying, I think Drake's gonna be out here trying to score and nice warm weather. Everybody expects Seahawks defense to be great. Patriots defense isn't bad, but I don't know. I just feel like, this is gonna be a little bit higher scoring than we've seen the last couple weeks in some of these games, in the cold. So that's my second pick. My third pick, give me the Tar Heels over the Blue Devils at home. I'm gonna regret that. I should have picked Duke. But give me Carolina to get the win, do what they're supposed to do. And if they do that, they've officially done what they need to do to show us that they are here and, have a potential to maybe make a run this year.
Okay. All right. Give me the Hawks at the Heat. I want to say the Heat are going to get the win. Duke at North Carolina. Well, I'll just go ahead and pick Duke. Give me Duke to get the win. And then the Blues at the Predators. Give me the Predators to get the win at home.
Proud of you making that. That's a tough pick, I know, for you, but I'm proud of you anyways.
For those that keep up with the show, it is 6-5 Dwat. All
Yeah.
right. Um.
Tiebreaker,
Oh
if
yeah.
we do tie, is the Super Bowl total points. And I'm gonna take 48.
All right. And I'll go with 52.
I was really thinking you were going to go low, but that's a good pick. I almost went higher than 48 because I was worried about it, but we'll see.
All right, Casper. One last thought. What you got for the show?
Um, I got two. One
Yep.
thing I want to mention, just one additional, because Super Bowl's a great time to bet. I've quit sports betting like all the time, but I will bet on Super Bowl. There's a good one out there that I like right now for everybody. If you want to go out there and bet for any player other than the quarterback to attempt a pass, any other player, it's like plus 1,400. That's pretty good odds. It seems like we have weird trick plays in Super Bowl sometimes. So I like that, or the kick return for a touchdown. It seems like those are prop bets that do happen sometimes in the Super Bowl. So I like those. And my other thought is Alabama and their legal issues. The judge recused himself, so we still haven't finished that hearing up. I don't know if you saw that, but basically the judge that they assigned in Alabama had made some contributions towards um, the Alabama sports program. So we don't know exactly where we're at with Charles Bedico and his nonsense comeback from the G League and all this stuff. I do again still think this is the biggest issue in all of college sports right now. Um, I looked into it a little bit more, and it has a lot to do with the European guys that have got paid to play that then come to college. And I think that there's a good chance that Alabama ends up winning this case. If they don't, I think that they should be ineligible for any postseason play. So I think it's a risky decision on their part to play him against Tennessee last week and take a loss anyways. But I don't know if they end up losing this case and they made that decision to put him on the floor, then I really feel like they should basically have a postseason ban for a year. Even the SEC tournament. That's my opinion. I know Bruce Pearl kind of came out and said the same thing, and I don't think he's wrong. And I think that the reason I say that is these schools have to start taking some responsibility for decisions that are being made on these NIL contracts and stuff like that. And I think, that'll go a long ways towards stuff like the tampering that we talked about last week if we start punishing teams for doing this dumb stuff. Until you punish them, make it hurt, they're going to continue to push the envelope. So that's my opinion on that. But that's all I got.
Right. I guess mine will be baseball. It's getting close to being baseball season for the Braves. It's coming up soon. They're going to go to spring training very soon. So that's going to be those guys will report down there, and I'm hopeful for the season. Hoping to see some good things out of the Atlanta Braves. And tech wise, we're ranked up there at the very top in baseball. We got a new coach. So I'm really confident in Georgia Tech's baseball abilities. And this is going to be the year we're going to see if it's all hype or can we back it up and run the table in the ACC and go to Omaha or get very close. Hopefully the goal is to Omaha. That's what I want to see out of the Tech baseball team is get to Omaha. All right. Anything else, Casper?
Yeah, you guys be sure to like, subscribe, share. Find us on Apple Podcasts. We're going to set it up when this is over before I hang up on Dwat here. I'm going to help him get that knocked out, and then it'll be easier to be right there in y'all's feed. Be sure to share this everywhere you go. Dwat's doing a great job. Got a lot of good guests on here, and I'm a podcast listener. I listen to it. Y'all should too. Share it with your friends. And hey, if you got anything to say, but to him, me, whatever, be sure to do it. I'm gonna steal him. I'm gonna start stealing him once a week. For caution flag contemplations too. If you guys want to come on over and talk a little racing, I know most of you don't, so we'll try to keep it on that show. But come on over, hang out, and we'll run our mouths about some NASCAR and dirt and whatever else is going on over there. Um,
Yeah.
so
Come on over to CFC.
yeah, there you go.
Caution Flag Competition Podcast. Great show. I enjoyed being on it, Casper. It's fun to get on there and give my thoughts. I gave my thought on some NASCAR. Couple a show come out about the NASCAR. It was just me on here, and I ran my mouth a little bit about it, gave some thoughts and some guesses, and can't wait to hear what you have to say about that on your show on my thoughts. But
Let me
yes, give us a like, share, subscribe if you would. Thanks for coming on again, Casper, and we will see y'all in the next one.